how did all that come in apart? Because a lot of people, they open up a business and they start doing things, and it's like, okay, you don't have a business if you don't have systems and processes and like
100%.
KPIs and things like that, that metrics that you're measuring consistently to see the performance of your business. So how did all that come into play? And how what are some of the things that you did to kind of help you kind of set up your systems and processes and to grow the business? Because again, you are one of the top performers in kind of real estate wholesaling, and you're doing a lot of other things. So from a business perspective, uh, how did all that come into play?
All right, so excellent question. So I mean, the short answer to that is networking. And I'm gonna go deeper into that, but you just so we don't like gloss over, so people can get the background. So what I did when we first started, after I read those books, I started looking for. I didn't know it, but I started looking for mentorship. I knew enough to know that I want to get into real estate and I want to be the one making 50,000 in a month or two and all this other stuff. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And being an engineer, like I said, it taught me how to think. So I thought in processes and I had, factors of safety. Like that's the way my mind worked. So I wanted to like, okay, I knew enough, like, man, I want to get into it. But what do I go out and do? I can go out and do X, I can go out and do Y. I didn't know where I want to get into. Right. So that's why I went to YouTube University, started listening to different people. And there was a few out there that I was like, okay, I resonate with this person, I resonate with that person. And ultimately I just select one. That's what we're talking about, Phil now. And he had that thing where he taught me how to invest, where it's like, okay, you can do this, you can do that. Here's how to do it. So I learned how to be an investor. Getting to Dave's point, we started talking about how to build a business. So now we're talking really let me see, really like 3 years. Yeah, I would say maybe 3.5 years in, right? Because up until that point, I was just a one man show. And it's funny when I speak at conferences, I tell people this. So the point is, what had happened? I joined a mastermind, right? So we'll talk about that. But when I speak at conferences, I tell people when I first joined, which was one of the biggest things that helped me excel joining these masterminds, quote unquote networking. But when I first joined, I thought she was just an investor because I didn't know what I didn't know. So I knew all the stuff about real estate, but I thought, you just being an investor. I didn't know that there was like you had a role and responsibility. Like you got titles. Oh, you're a transaction coordinator. You're an acquisitions rep. You're a dispositions rep. You're an ops manager. I didn't know that. I thought, and I was doing everything, right? So me doing everything, okay, when I was talking to somebody, I was wearing one hat, and I was doing another. When I was doing something else, doing another hat. I didn't know that. So the big thing for me is, so we started talking about it. Remember, I got a job at this point, right? So I'm making good money, excellent career, everything is good as far as that is concerned. But the biggest question I had is like, all right, I'm making money, but when do I quit or when do I go full time? When do I, retire out of this? You know what I mean? That's what's going through my mind. I'm like, how and